So there's no question that New York City is expensive. Hey, how are you? Good. How much is a grande iced vanilla latte?
That's gonna be $9.80.
$9.80? All right, I'll do one. But how expensive is it really? Growing up, we see headlines that New York City is the most expensive city in the world and that you need to make at least 6 figures to survive. And even if you do, chances are you're still gonna live in a shoebox apartment that's wildly overpriced. You know, the truth is, there's a part of me that kind of gets mad when I see headlines like these because they freak people out. And I remember being so close to not even considering moving to the city because of them. And especially now to think that the last 2 years have been some of the most incredible years I've ever had. I mean, it's all so crazy. So, New York City is expensive, but my theory is it's not as expensive as these daunting headlines make it out to be. So, let's put that theory to the test. In this video, I'm gonna cover the 3 main expenses: rent, food, and lifestyle through a data-driven approach and also through my experience as someone who lived very naively, luxuriously 1 year and then had to get scrappy in the next. The goal is to give anyone considering moving to New York City a different perspective, one that feels a little bit more on the ground. So let's start with the most expensive topic of them all, rent. Ready for this? We're gonna do this.
Oh my god.
Okay, but this will go here. Okay, hold on. Is that? And
This is so cool.
rent is probably the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the cost of living in the city. So in order to get the best and most accurate information, I went out to find an on-the-ground, in the weeds of it all, real estate agent.
I'm Samantha Germano, but call me Sam. I'm a real estate agent in New York City, and I've been doing this for over 3 years.
Sam is also the therapist in one of our earlier videos this year. Now we're actually contacting you for your
My actual services.
your actual services, what your profession is. So we have a map of New York City. The goal is, I would love to know what rent prices are in New York City based on the location of Manhattan. But first, I love to raise the blood pressure of my friends whenever they're on camera. So I presented Sam with a little bit of a challenge. But I first want you to draw the boundaries of each location in Manhattan. Of Fidei, Soho, LES, East Village, Murray Hill, Chelsea, Hell's Kitchen, Upper West Side, Upper East Side, and Williamsburg.
Okay.
But you need to do like the next 30 seconds. And they have to be correct to the street.
Wait, should I check this first?
No. This is your profession, right?
I know, but
You're telling me you haven't memorized every street of New York City?
Fidei is like tough. Okay,
Just-
Upper East Side, I'm 99% sure starts at like 59th. If not, actually no, it's 63rd. Damn it, I've already given incorrect information.
The boundaries that Sam is drawing out are some of the more popular locations I've heard people move to when they consider Manhattan.
You're gonna get me fired from my job.
But it should be said that this map is only Midtown and Lower Manhattan, which is just a small part of New York City as a whole. We're not even considering like 4.5 boroughs.
Yeah.
Lower East Side?
Well, I'm sorry I cursed.
It's okay. It's okay.
Tejas, really?
I thought this challenge was going to be impossible, but Sam actually took it like a champ. All things considered, these boundaries are pretty on point, minus a couple streets here and there and this monstrosity boundary that is Fidei. But now the next step is to discuss the nitty-gritty, rent prices. Wow.
I hate you for making me do that.
I had to ask.
I obviously know the neighborhoods, but like by exact street, all 4 ways is a little tough.
I gave a small assignment to you right before coming here, and that was to find the average rent prices that people would pay in these areas.
Okay, so in Soho, the median asking rent is $7,448 a month.
The exact metric we used for the simple diagram was the median asking rent based on neighborhood according to StreetEasy in March 2024.
Number 2.
7,000. Okay.
Number 2, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Is $5,500.
Wow. That jump is nuts.
Yeah.
So Soho's,
Yes.
that's elite.
Yeah. Soho is definitely one of the most expensive neighborhoods. Okay. Number 3 is Fidei. Summarizing rent into one diagram is a little tricky because there's really a ton of variables. When you hear a number like 7,440 in Soho, that is all-encompassing of every unit in that area. But in New York, people split one-bedroom units into 2 flex rooms. Couples obviously live together, which splits cost.
Hell's Kitchen is
Six.
$4,000.
$351. The most important thing I got out of all of this was actually the delta between each neighborhood. There's the top 3, which dropped significantly, but then a pretty even long tail. Regardless, statistics show that the middle quartile of people are paying anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 a month in rent. And that's quite scary. And then
10 Upper East Side.
Not least, is Upper East Side. With 3,950.
So you said right before we clicked recording, you said you were kind of shocked.
It's like, I do agree to an extent with what people say that like it is expensive to live in New York City. It's not the easiest thing. There are ways around it, which we'll talk about in a bit, but it's expensive.
So I think it's really easy to look at these numbers and just be overwhelmed, but I thought I'll give you a little bit about my personal experience living in New York City that'll help a bit. So I said in the intro that the first year that I lived here, I was living quite naively, luxuriously. And the reason for that is because I didn't really know any other way. I kind of just signed on to a lease that I thought was like quintessential New York and went with it. That was my old place. The cost of that lease was $4,000 a month. Like that's what I had to pay. It was absurd. Definitely looking back, it was something that 21-year-old Tejas should have never done. I definitely did not have the money for it, and yeah, $4,000 a month. It's kind of crazy. I like look at that number again. I'm like, what? That's absurd. So once that lease ended, that's when I started to get closer with Shervin and Colt, and we all wanted to move in together. Realistically, I wanted to cut my rent price in half from $4,000 to like maximum $2,000, but still live in Manhattan, and I didn't really know what to do. But that's when Shervin, being the experienced one in New York City, found a place that was quite interesting. Okay, ready? Here we go. The year is December 2022. Who wants to explain the situation?
I spent a year surfing couches, but Tejas had a really nice apartment, and oh my god, that coffee table, that couch is so comfy, and I would crash on Tejas' couch every time I'd come to the city for a while. And after doing that for so long, the boys were like, bro, we gotta get you to the city. Within a week of getting together and be like, yo, you wanna do this? We signed a lease, pretty much.
When you first saw this place, why was it a consideration?
Location. I think location is the most important factor. Like, why would you move to New York when you can move to Alabama? No hate to Alabama people, but
Price was what like price point were we looking at when we were looking for a place in New York?
I think my budget was like $1,500 max. Like,
so I
didn't even want to get to $1,500.
So you wanted to prioritize location, but have a budget of $1,500 max.
Yes.
So what was the downside of this all?
Quality.
and then we were looking at a place that was like in another country. I think it was like New Jersey, and you were like, yeah, it has quality, and I was like, what does quality even mean? And that place I think was like relatively priced the same. It was a more modern apartment, but it was like might as well move to Alabama at that point.
Guys, I don't say this often, but I was in the wrong. Hey, we should have foregone quality. And even it's funny, at the end of the day, we've lived in this place for 2 years now, and like,
it's been great.
We don't think about quality once.
You know, you make it your home. So no matter where it is, whatever it's nice or not, you can just make it cozy. I think that was our plan too. This is pretty bare bones, but it's gonna need some TLC, and I mean, now we have whatever the heck
TLC.
this is, so.
We got TLC.
You always hear like the line of like, I want a 2-bedroom apartment with a doorman, gym, laundry in unit, dishwasher, blah, 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 and I want to pay $2,000 for it. And we're like, whoa. What do you actually need in your first few years? These leases are temporary. Yeah. So if you need to compromise on some things, do what you gotta do.
It's part of the experience.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. This is great.
Cool.
Okay, chapter 2, food. So I'll be honest with you all. Food in general is something that I struggle with in terms of making it. I rarely cook here, and so I'm just a bad representation if I look at my own bank statements about how much food costs. Something I need to work on. Instead, I wanted to make this section a little bit more data-driven, and so I'm reintroducing a topic that I learned back in my economics class in high school, and that is the idea of a consumer basket. To my understanding, a consumer basket is a list of commodities that helps people track prices across different areas geographically, like cities and suburbs and like that, or inflation throughout the year. So I thought, how fun would it be to get 5 of my friends across the United States, ranging from the suburbs to Los Angeles to Austin, Texas. We all buy the same items, and then we can run our own experiment to see how much more expensive is New York City food for the same items.
All right, Tejas, we are going to my favorite grocery store here in downtown Chicago, Jewel Osco.
I am at the staple of the northwest suburbs of Chicago, Woodman's Market.
It's grocery shopping time.
All right, the grocery store of choice for New York City is Whole Foods.
Also, just because it's funny, we're gonna add an honorable mention, and that is Erewhon in Los Angeles. If y'all don't know what Erewhon is, let Ben explain it to you.
Welcome to sunny Los Angeles. Woo! I'm going to Erewhon, which is not an accurate example of grocery prices in LA, but it kind of is. Erewhon is kind of the spirit of the most annoying people in the city, and I want to show you just how high the prices can get.
We're gonna get 3 things. We're gonna get a dozen eggs, we're gonna get a gallon of whole milk, and we're gonna get some Honey Nut Cheerios.
I have no idea how much eggs cost. I should know because I eat a ridiculous amount of eggs.
My guess is New York City prices: 12 eggs, $5.99.
12 eggs, $2.99.
Cage-free large egg whites. We got a dozen here.
Here we go.
$4.49. All right, next to this milk. I don't remember the last time I bought milk, so.
Gallon of whole milk, $5.
And this is the one we're looking for, $3.49.
Oh, here we go. Whole milk. A gallon.
Could not tell you the prices at all. I'm gonna go $1.99 for a gallon of milk. $3.69. That's more expensive than I thought.
That's kind of a lot for milk, isn't it? Next item, Honey Nut Cheerios, a regular box. I mean, I remember buying this for like $1. That's not New York City prices. I'm gonna guess $2.99.
All right, the moment of truth here. The Honey Nut Cheerios, $6.79.
That's it. This is what you get. You get the large size.
So here we go. And these guys are gonna put us back $3.69.
Wait, it's $5.
Bro, my mom would go to Costco and get like boxes like 4 times as big for $3, I feel.
This is the closest thing I could find to Cheerios.
All right, guys, here's the haul. We got eggs, we got Cheerios, we got milk for a grand total $10.78.
I'm at McDonald's ordering a Big Mac.
Can I just get 1 Big Mac?
McDonald's. To be honest, I've only had like 2 Big Macs in my life total, and I can't imagine it being over $5.
All right, next stop we got McDonald's. This is starting to get kind of unhealthy. Could I do just a Big Mac, no fries? Thank you. Big Mac in hand. Big Mac reveal. Dang, dude, honestly, that's a well-packaged item. Thanks for lunch, Tejas. This Big Mac cost me $4.54.
$6.52. That feels normal.
You're looking at the one and only Big Mac from McDonald's, courtesy of Tejas Hullur. $5.75. We're gonna give it 1 bite, see how we like it. It's been about 5 years since I've had one of these. See, the problem with these Big Macs is they end up all over your hand. I mean, it's a sloppy sandwich. Not good for you. I'll take a free meal when I get one.
I kind of clickbaited you guys earlier in this video. I went to a Starbucks Reserve, and I knew those coffees are gonna be way more expensive. This should be a normal New York City Starbucks, so let's see what a grande espresso latte is there.
Could I do a grande iced vanilla latte?
We're headed to Starbucks to pick up the grande iced vanilla latte to see how much it costs in downtown Chicago. I'm not a big coffee guy, so I'll be giving it to my girlfriend and pretending it was a gift for me.
Thank you. Have a good one.
After tax, this was $6.55.
All right, that'll be $6.55.
You are looking at a $6.70 drink.
I had no idea the state of Starbucks.
How much was it again?
It was $7.57. You're all good?
That's it. Thank you. Kind of regretful buy, but we do it for the video. You remember consumer baskets? It's like that whole thing. But I need to figure out how much more expensive is New York City eggs.
2% difference.
Exact
It's
number of
New
eggs.
York minus Chicago divided by Chicago.
Yes!
Gives you the percent difference of New York over Chicago.
I said that. I knew it. I promise you, Sal, I knew it. If there's someone I knew that could understand what we learned in 10th grade, it would be you. So after 5 of us decided to go all around the US and buy the same items, we've come up with these numbers, as you can see here on this very professional looking Excel document. Look at that Starbucks grande iced vanilla latte. I mean, we clear the next most expensive thing by basically $1. Let's see in this mini experiment that we just ran exactly how much more expensive to the percentage is New York City based off of everywhere else. It is new minus old divided by old. Dang. So in general, everywhere outside of whole milk, for some reason, looks like we're cheaper than the average. Everywhere else, it's, at least 15 to up to 40% more expensive. Just straight food here in New York City versus our limited sample size of the rest of America, which is pretty crazy to think about. Okay, I'll be honest with you, this part of the video was a bit tough to create. As you all know, the information that we present to you, I love it to be based off of objective data or at least experiments that we can run. But when it comes to lifestyle costs in New York City, it's a pretty wide range because you can make your lifestyle anything you want it to be. So let me make this easy for you. That $7 drink you bought in college is $20 here. And you're probably paying double the price for a movie ticket that you paid for in the suburb you grew up in. And yeah, expect to pay hundreds of dollars more for a gym membership or a workout class and a couple extra $100 for that occasional Broadway ticket. I'm not gonna shy away from the fact that most events and activities that you do in New York City are gonna have a price tag to them. And actually, I'm gonna say something that may seem counterintuitive, but I think this is the area where you should spend more than you think.
All right, we're at the apartment now.
MTV, welcome to my crib.
This is gonna be our home.
14 months, baby.
14 months. We gotta make it feel like home though.
Yeah. So I want to end this video on 2 final notes. One being a practical tip, and the second being my philosophical approach on how I look at New York City. So my hack, the way I boy math this city, is everything starts with your rent. If you think about it, for most people, this is the largest expense they have month to month. So if you reduce this, it does magnitudes. For example, I went from paying $4,000 a month to $1,600 in rent. And let me repeat, yes, there was a cost to this. I gave up an incredible doorman, I gave up an in-unit washer dryer, and a pool at the rooftop of my building.
We just found a cockroach. Go show him.
I'm a little scared of cockroaches.
Don't be scared.
I would rather have rats than cockroaches.
You think so?
Why can't you kill them? Why are they so hard to kill?
I don't know.
I don't have to think twice, month to month, if I want to spend an extra $50 on a dinner that someone set up, or a $30 workout class, or even a $270 a month gym membership. Okay? Maybe we're not there yet. Maybe that's still a bit crazy, but...
And then this is my room. I got like a skinny hallway.
Ready?
With glass doors.
Wait, show. Ready for this?
Yeah, let's see. You can touch.
Okay, but why do all this? Why sacrifice all of that? Well, that's where I get to that philosophical approach. When people move to New York City, I feel like they solely focus on how expensive the city is without thinking about how much more opportunity they'll gain by living in this city. And Andrew Schultz has a pretty good quote about this.
That's the thing that I don't think a lot of people understand when people who aren't from New York, they criticize like the apartment size and stuff in New York. They're like, why would I want to live in a 600 square foot apartment with like mice and rats, whatever? And it's like, that's how dope the city is. You're willing to live with rats and cockroaches in a tiny apartment that doesn't have an oven because of what's around it.
You come to the city for serendipity. The expensive rent and the premium you pay on food and that elevated lifestyle's the price you pay to meet extraordinary people and run into extraordinary events and opportunities. Now, okay, some people don't want to subscribe to this or they think the cost of that is too high, and that's totally okay. And I'll agree, a $10 grande iced vanilla latte at Starbucks, kind of outrageous.
Like, this is the start of a really cool story. Dude, we're 22.
Yeah.
This should be the apartment that we live in.
Yeah, this is great. I couldn't have. I like it. I like it a lot.
I do like it. There's something homey about it.
Yeah. Hey, homie. Hey, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
How much money do you need to make to live in Manhattan, New York City?
Finding income needed. To live comfortably in Manhattan, New York City, a single adult would need to make approximately $138,570 a year, according to a study.
And Colt, how much money do you make?
Maybe like half of that.
Do you live comfortably?
I love my life, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
That didn't really answer the question, but...
Am I comfortable? I would say so. I can buy food. I can buy sometimes the things I want.